Hey, welcome into the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel, everybody. And I have a very, very special guest and interview for you today. If you remember, just a couple weeks ago, we did an awesome video about an amazing new platform called Hound. It's sellhound.com, and they will soon have a working app. And today, I have the CEO of Hound, Suzanne Woke, with me. Thank you so much for joining me, Suzanne. How are you? And welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I really appreciated the video that you did. We actually got a lot of subscribers from that video. I'm a subscriber of yours. I have been for a while. So it's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. And so I want to tell you guys, everybody that may have seen the video, or if you didn't see the video, I will link it again down below so you can check out Hound. But I want to tell you guys a little bit more about it, because when I do a video, it's from my point of view, but what better point of view than to interview the CEO, the owner, the person that thought this up and created it for us. And so I want Suzanne to tell you guys a little bit more about Hound, about how she came up with it, her background, just a little bit of everything so you understand where it came from and how it's going to be able to help you in your selling going forward. So Suzanne, I'm going to leave it to you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about it.
So first I want to say that I'm an urban picker. I'm a seller. I've been selling secondhand items since I was a kid, really. And about 20 years ago, somebody told me about a little website called Auction Web, which I went, wow, it's a global garage sale. This is amazing. A few months later, they changed their name to eBay. At the time, I was like, why eBay? What does that mean? I mean, Auction Web sounded perfectly fine to me. But later I found out that the reason actually is that they were going public, and they didn't. And somebody smart said, well, what if we're not going to only do auctions in the future? So they needed to change it to a name that could, mean maybe nothing at the time, but that, they can use it for everything.
And Buy It Now was born.
That's right, exactly. So that's a good tip. So I've been an entrepreneur really my whole life. I've worked also as an actress in LA, and even when I worked as an actress, I was always drawn to the thrift store. I was always a picker by nature. I had a little booth in one of these antique malls just so I can tell my husband at the time to give an excuse to go to the thrift store, because we didn't need anything. So that's how much I love picking. I love the treasure hunt. I love my bolo list. We have a Goodwill down the block from here. So even though I'm a CEO of a company right now, my yoga moment or my meditation moment is going next door to the Goodwill to find something so I can list. And I still have around 300 items, on eBay right now.
That's pretty impressive. That's a little dangerous. I mentioned that to you, that you have that available store to you right there.
Yeah, so exactly. I know. Tell me about it. Anyway, my garage knows about it.
So that experience, which that's dating back, I think eBay was, what, 97?
97.
Years,
that's right.
Years.
Yes. Yes.
Is how, well, one, you became a seller, and two, you learned all of the things that it takes to go into actually listing on eBay. That's the manual labor, the research, all of the steps. And so I'm going to go out on a limb and say at some point, which you're going to take us back to, the idea for Hound was born. So tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. So actually, Hound is my second startup. My first startup was a little app called Snappost. And Snappost was an app specifically for eBay, and it was to simplify the posting process. All you did is snap a few pictures of the item that you want to sell, and that's it. We did all the work. So we have that component in Hound. Hound is a bit bigger. I'll go into that a little bit. But the aha moment for Snappost, which now led to Hound, was when the smartphone became popular. And all my family, my circle of family and friends who knew that I am the eBay expert, I'm the one who sells on eBay, whenever they would go to an estate sale or a garage sale, they would see something really cool and they would snap a picture of it, send it to me, and they said, hey, should I buy it? It's only $1. What do you think? And I'll go, yeah, you can probably sell it for $100. That's great. Buy it. Well, the next text was, could you sell it for me? eBay seems too complicated. I can't do it. And most of the time I would go, okay, yeah, and I went and I did the research and I created a title and description because I know what I'm doing and sent it to them, and then they listed it. That's when the aha moment came for me, because all they did was snap a few pictures, and what they got was a highly optimized listing for eBay with all the research and the value and the shipping and all the item specifics and everything that eBay requires. So I was like, well, there ought to be an app for that. So I enrolled in a fantastic startup incubator called the Founders Institute, and it's if you want to learn a little bit more about it, it's fi.co. They have chapters all over the country and all over the world, actually. And it's a incubator that's very hard to get into, and I was able to get into, and that's where I massaged the idea and launched SnapPost. So the history of SnapPost was that it actually got acquired by a small company here in Santa Cruz, California, where I live, and I still worked for them. We were 9 months, we were live, we posted around 30,000 items. It was very successful. The reason it was shelved is that the people who acquired it had a whole bunch of other businesses, and they decided this one, they decided to shelve. At the time, I was working as an advisor mentor for a local startup incubator for UCSC, which is our local college here. And I was meeting up with another mentor and kind of, kvetching about the fact that they shelved my baby. And we started brainstorming and tried to understand what's different today than 5 years ago when I launched SnapPost originally. And the main difference today is that 5 years ago, eBay was really the only marketplace. You had Amazon, you had Etsy was just starting, Craigslist was always a problem child, but eBay was really the place, the one marketplace. Today, there are hundreds of marketplaces. The secondhand marketplace ecosystem is exploding, and a lot of resellers don't even know. So what we decided to do, and after doing some research, I realized there's no one place for a reseller where you can do everything, including doing search on multiple marketplaces, including helping you post like SnapPost did, including, when something sells on one marketplace, automatically take it down from all the other marketplaces. And it's what we call an aggregator. So it's kind of like, in the old days when you wanted to travel, so you needed to call all the airlines and figure out what price, and then a hotel, and then a car. And today you just go to Kayak or Trivago. That's an aggregator, and that's what we're doing for the reseller community. And that's what Hound is. It's an aggregator for resellers. It's a platform that helps you search for the best marketplace and the best price. It helps you create a listing, and it helps you manage all your items and your marketplaces from one platform, so you don't have to jump around from marketplace to marketplace.
And that's pretty incredible, which we're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes. But I'm going to tell you guys, when you go visit Hound, and if you check out the other video, I mentioned this, there's 150 plus marketplaces on there. And I'm going to tell you guys, I probably knew, and I'm embarrassed to say this, maybe 20% of those marketplaces that I'm actually familiar with, I've sold on, or that I've visited. There was so many that I had never heard of. And some of them are probably outside of my niche, but there were quite a few that I probably should have been selling on, or at least been familiarized with. And I couldn't believe the list that you guys compiled and put on there. If nothing else, when I went on there and started doing, my price research on my items, and these other marketplaces popped up, I'm like, wow, I at least went over and checked them out to say, what is this? Like, where did this come from? And then, we're going to talk about it soon about not having to leave Hound and managing all of those platforms. But they gave me so much information and so many places to go look. It blew my mind. I was blown away.
Yeah, thank you. And when we were at eBay Open, we just launched the aggregator like a couple of months before eBay Open. We were at eBay Open 2018. Somebody came up to me and said, hey, they saw that I was from Hound. He said that he sells 6 figures. He has a business. He also manages other businesses. And when he did a search on Hound, he learned about a website called Grailed, which he never heard about. And then now he's selling on Grailed and making twice as much money. So that was a great testimonial. I actually would love to do a little demo of the aggregator at some point.
That's an awesome idea. Actually, I believe you have it on your screen here, so I'm going to share your screen.
Okay, so.
Take it away.
Yep, so give me a moment.
We'll let her show you how it works.
Okay, do you see my screen?
I do. There's your screen, and there's Hound.
Okay, so this is our website, and you can sign up. First of all, sign up for early access for our beta, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I have a little video about confessions of an urban picker, and I'm going to talk about that as well because we're going to Ecom Chicago and we're going to set up a little confession booth there. So if anybody else has confessions, they can add to it. Here's the idea for the marketplaces. There are many, many marketplaces to choose from. So let me show you, give you an example. So for example, if you search for a Harley Davidson leather jacket, right? And it's used, you can do used or new, but we're doing used, and you fetch. So what we're doing now is we're fetching from probably around 10 to 15 marketplaces for the average current price and the average sold price. We only can get the average sold price from some marketplaces, so we don't always have that. But for example, for Harley Davidson leather jacket, here's the eBay current and sold. Here's Mercari. Here's Poshmark. Here's Grailed that I mentioned, and look, the prices are a little higher here. Grailed is a very specific menswear marketplace. Here's Bonanza, here's Tradesy, here's Etsy, here's Trugether. So for example, so this just kind of gives you an idea, and of course if you know a little bit more better keywords, like your specific jacket has a skull on it, I would add that. But if you click eBay, for example, then it takes you...
Is the keyword search specific to size as well?
Yeah, I mean, basically what we're doing is we're searching the marketplace the same way you would. Okay. So think about if you were on that marketplace, how you would search. So if you look for a size, if I put in large here, it will bring up anything that has large in the title, right?
Gotcha.
So like this one has extra large, okay. So these are the current and these are the sold. Now what we have is we have it priced high to low because this is for sellers, but buyers are using this. So buyers would want to change it from low to high where you can do that, right? But here are the current. So for example, as you know, and as a seller, you check what items sold for in order to figure out the prices. So here are the items, and again, the prices are going down because it's high to low. And then if you click one of these items, it will take you to eBay for that item. And again, you can go, like I said, there's Grailed. And if you click on that item, it will take you to Grailed. Well, it should anyway. There it is.
There it is.
The other cool thing about this, so this is our first ever, world's first actually, price comparison search for secondhand items for secondhand marketplaces. You can, if you search Google, you might get eBay or Etsy, but you certainly won't get Grailed, you won't get Tradesy, you won't get, Trugether, these other things.
And that was very quick. When you searched for that, like, it pulled up those marketplaces really, really quickly.
Right.
Outside, so a lot of us, Grailed is one people haven't heard of, but can we click on the marketplace directory there?
Yes.
And take a look at all the ones you have?
Right. So the other cool thing that we have is the marketplace directory. And so what's cool here, here I have 142, but there are really more like 150. We're moving things around a bit, and we have it right now alphabetically, but here are all the marketplaces that we found. Our criteria for choosing these marketplaces are marketplaces that regular people like you and I can sell on, either by locally, consignment, buy outright, or peer-to-peer. So I'll explain that in a minute, but here are all the marketplaces that we identified. And if you click any of these marketplaces, of course, it will take you to those marketplaces.
Wow. So the Real's on there. That's that's gaining popularity. I just saw that.
Right, the Real, Poshmark, of course, Trove, ThreadUp.
ThreadUp, yep.
Yep. Of course, eBay, Craigslist, even Facebook Marketplaces is here.
I saw Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's, again, a lot of these platforms you guys are going to recognize, like OfferUp, Mercari, all that stuff. But there's a ton,
Here's
like
Letgo.
Gazelle is one that a lot of people may not be too familiar with. I'm familiar with Gazelle because I learned my education in the electronics world. Gazelle is the largest secondhand seller of electronics in the country, I believe the world. But that's one that people may or may not be too familiar with. Glide is one that is also in the electronics world.
Correct. Here we go.
So these are ones, that I knew because of my background, but they're, like Fine Games or Game Flip is ones I've never heard of. Fashion Pile. I mean, there's so many of them. So a great tool to look up stuff and find these other marketplaces that might make you more money, like the example you gave over the guy that sells on Grail now.
And what I want to show a little bit about this marketplace directory, so we try to put in categories, and here's an example of how to use a marketplace directory. For example, let's say you want to sell the swing set in your backyard. So hold on. So you need to, you'll click Toys and Hobbies, and we get 52 marketplaces. But you don't want to, like I said, there are 4 different marketplaces. So local is like Craigslist, right, or Letgo. Peer-to-peer is eBay, for example. The seller ships it directly to the buyer. Buy outright is like ThreadUp. So you can send them a bag of your clothes, and they'll go through it, and they will, decide what they want to. They'll purchase it from you directly, and then they'll sell it on their site. And consignment is like the Real. You can send them that same bag, and they'll go through it, but they'll pull out something and say, "Hey, we'd like to sell this, but we're going to give you 50% only if it sells," which is, the common consignment model. So in our case, let's say we want to sell the kids thing in the backyard, the play structure. So you don't want to ship it, right? So you might want to go. So we clicked kids, and now we'd click local. So we want to see only the local. So there's 17 marketplaces that sell children's or kids and toys and kids and hobbies that sell locally. So this gives you kind of an idea to go and look around to find the right marketplace for you.
That's very useful, because I have people, probably an email I get at least a few times a day is, I have such and such for sale. I'm never going to put it on eBay. I'm never going to ship it. Where else can I sell it? Like, it's Craigslist. Where else can I sell it?
The other thing I want to show you, exactly. The other thing I want to show you is we just added a news section to our site. And guess whose video is here? So we're going to add all the, you know, we're just collecting all of our stuff to add to this. But
and can you scroll? I'm sorry. Can you scroll to the bottom of that as well? I want to give people 2 shout outs for people in the Midwest and people in the Southwest. They're going to be Hound. The whole team is going to be in Ecom Chicago, October 18th and 20th. That's a weekend. That's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they're going to be there. If you're in Chicago in the area, or you want to go there, check them out at Ecom Chicago. And I think you guys, if you click there, they can get like a small discount on a ticket using that link. I'll have to check on that for you guys. But if you're going to be in Chicago or you live in that area, definitely go there. I know a ton of people that are going to be in Chicago. I don't know yet if I'm going to be there. I have to check with my schedule. But I for sure, the week before, which is the 12th, 13th, and 14th, or 11th, 12th, and 13th, will be in Dallas, which is the second tab there. That is PoshFest. I know a lot of my viewers will be there as well. I believe it's just going to be Alicia that's going to be there?
Not just, yes. It's Alicia, and she's our director of marketing. She's instrumental of building out our Instagram, which is amazing. And you should check our Instagram.
Speaking of, follow them. So it's just Hound. I'll put a post up on Instagram later for you guys. I'll tag them for you guys to follow them on Instagram. But since I will be in Dallas, I'll be happy to introduce you to them. I'm going to be meeting them for the first time in Dallas. So if you're going to be at PoshFest, make sure you send me a message and we will get together. And then finally, this one is definitely out of my range, but the Startup Monterey Bay Tech Meetup.
Well, actually, that just happened last night. We just did a presentation last night.
So I wasn't in Monterey. Sorry.
Right.
And it's surprising. A lot of people will be surprised, except the airports. I have never been to California. So.
Oh, well, you have to come.
I know. I'm an East Coast
You need
boy,
to do.
I live and breathe the East Coast my whole life.
Look, I was born in the East Coast. I totally get it. But it's great here, and you get a lot of surfing bolos around here. So.
Yep. I have shipped. In Florida, we get a ton of wetsuits and all that stuff, but almost every time I sell them, they end up, if they don't go to Hawaii, they definitely go to Huntington Beach.
Right.
Is it Hernando Beach? Redondo Beach.
Redondo Beach, that's right.
Yeah,
Redondo Beach. Yeah.
So it's always California.
And we're in Santa Cruz, California, which actually is the first place that surfing started on the mainland. It started in Hawaii, but then it moved to Santa Cruz, and this is where the whole surfing thing started. We even have a statue with a surfer with this huge surfboard. So
there you go. They're out of Santa Cruz, which I know that Suzannes told me last time. I will get out to California. There's got to be a dozen companies there that I have to make like a circle that I either do business with or I collaborate with or that I'm a part of. So, obviously eBay up in San Jose and I'm big on YouTube, and they're out of San Francisco.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They invited me, actually, once you hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, they invite you to, come out and use their studios. There's one in New York and one in San Fran, and so I got to come to California. Yeah, I mean, we're an hour and a half from San Francisco, and I could make that circle.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, we're 25 minutes to eBay headquarters, so yeah, we go there a lot, so that's cool.
I was about to ask, how often do you guys go?
Well, the sellers meetup, the eBay sellers meetup is actually at eBay headquarters, so I go at least once a month because I've been going there for years and years and years. And I did a presentation there together with Griff not too long ago. And so, yeah, we go there a lot, which is great. And they're wonderful. I mean, I love eBay. I like, how they take care of us these days. And so what I wanted to say is that I've been actually an internet marketer since the late 90s when the term internet marketing didn't exist yet. I didn't know that I was that. But what I was doing is buying ads on a search engine called Overture that was later purchased by Yahoo. And I was selling things like the New York Times subscription. And, I was buying ads and sending people. They didn't even know I existed. I was sending people directly to the websites. So when Google launched AdWords in 2004, I believe, I stayed up till midnight to be the first one to put ads on AdWords. At that time, it was pennies. You can get, it's price per click. So it was just, if it was if it was a nickel, I'd go, oh, that's too expensive, kind of thing. But but yeah, I was probably one of the first advertisers on AdWords.
Wow.
So I've been to Google, and they've invited me a few times they do kind of like customer research. You sit in a room with a mirror, one-way mirror, so they can see how you react. They wanted to, as they're developing their products, and they did a lot of that. So I did a lot of that with them. So I've been there. It's a cool campus. Yeah.
Google invites people out that are part of their websites and programs. They actually own YouTube. They bought YouTube several years back, and so when people become significantly sized creators, they not only invite you to YouTube's headquarters. YouTube has a studio with lighting and the camera that they let you use is like $180,000.
Wow.
And so they let you use their equipment to record videos, but they also invite you to Google's headquarters, which I imagine isn't too far away, and they will do interviews with you about everything down to how do you record your videos? When do you put them up? Do you wait till you eat dinner first or wait for dinner? Do you do that? Every part of the marketing. I mean, that's how they live and breathe. That's how they get customers. So they will invite, the people that are producing the content to give them every piece of information down to, are you a better creator after you wake up or before you take a nap? They sent me these 400-page, interview question things, and then they're like, would you like to come out and do this in front of the camera? And I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
Know about all that.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows how that's the reason they're so good and so popular, because they really paying attention to how we're using their product, and that's such an important thing. And that's also, that's one of what they teach you in startup school is about customers. In fact, Reid Hoffman, who's the founder of LinkedIn, has a famous quote, and I'm not going to quote it directly, but it's something like, if you release your product and it looks beautiful, you released it too late. So the idea is that you want to just get it out there because you want customers to use it and to tell you, no, you want to go down this road. You don't want to go down the left. You want to do what you're doing on the right. Because we can spend a lot of money. I can spend a lot of money thinking, oh, I think this is what sellers want. And I'm a seller, so I have an idea. But until I have my customers use it and tell me what they want, I really won't know for sure. I have an idea, right? The feedback is so important. So I think that leads us to the fact that we just launched our beta, our early, more like an alpha of our posting app. And we're letting in people very slowly because, we want to make sure that our software is working and working good with the volume. And B, we're doing that. We released a very simple version that's only connected to eBay at this point. So eBay is our first vertical, and we're focusing on fashion.
To make sure basically that it's working correctly as people list that fashion. I think, and just so we can jump into that, and when Suzanne talks about the hosting app, so the first part of Sellhound that we just went over with you guys was the research tool, the marketplace directory, being able to look up your items and figure it out. The second part, which is the part that's going to allow you not to have to leave Sellhound eventually, which is the idea, is listing. You guys are going to actually, what you touched on to start with, take some photos of the item, send it over, and you guys are going to do the title, the description, the pricing based on your pricing, like the entire listing.
We're going to do including item specifics, including shipping. So we're going to fill out the entire form for you. So this is how it works. You snap a few pictures. So we make sure that you snap the correct pictures. So we make sure that you snap a picture of the front, of the back, of the tags, or a sizing picture, let's say next to a Coke can if it's a mug, once we do products like that. And then we give you an option to snap as many pictures as you want, of course. You're allowed up to 12 for eBay. And that's all you have to do. So that takes you about a minute or two to snap some pictures. We get it from you through the app. Then we create a highly optimized title and description. We do the research, we find the value, we create the whole listing, including item specifics, as I said, including shipping. We figure out the shipping. When we're done, we send it back to you, so you get an email notification saying, hey, it's done. You open the app, you look at it, you have the capability of changing anything and everything. Because, you might know that Marilyn Monroe wore it, the item, something that we can't tell from the pictures, right? So it might, you would want to make the price maybe higher, or, so you can change anything, but when you're happy, all you do is click post, and it posts directly onto your eBay account. It's your item, it's your feedback. We are just a virtual assistant.
So a virtual lister. And that posting, when it comes back, those are two points. One, I know that when you hit post, it's instant. Like, it's going to go up just like you did it. Is that correct?
Right, absolutely.
And then the draft time, this was a question I was asked from the previous video. What was the time ETA for now, from the time that I snap the pictures till I get it back?
So what we like to say is 1 business day, but usually it could be within an hour, much shorter. But it depends. If we happen to get a lot of volume on one day and we're not set up for it, then it will take a little longer, but usually within a few hours.
Right. And so I know that, and this is me knowing my audience, you guys are immediately going to say, oh, it's not, the emails aren't coming back. They have to create the template. Remember, they have to take your photos and create all this listing. But once you get started, if you on Monday take your photos of, say, 20 or 30 items, and then you can stop what you're doing and go about your other business, and it's in the hopper, we call it like the little hopper that it's just waiting, and then later that day, you get the emails back, 20 or 30 are posted, and then you start on a roll. This is kind of that thing, once you start selling stuff, you get payments coming into your account every day. Well, once you get pictures rolling over to them every day, you'll continuously keep getting your drafts back, and you'll be able to work on other stuff, just waiting when the drafts come in. Okay, looks good, post, looks good, post, looks good, post. And you're not sitting down spending hours creating all these listings. You're off doing something else, sourcing, being more productive, doing your QuickBooks that all of you need to catch up on for Q4, because I know you all are slacking. But you can go, you get my point. You can go about your other activities for the day while Sellhound takes care of the listing, and then when they come through, it's just a click of a button and you're done.
Exactly. So what I like saying is that it takes, it takes around 15 minutes to 30 minutes. I mean, some people much shorter time to create a listing, depending if you really know what the listing is or if you have a sell one like it. But let's say you can do around 4 items an hour. With Sellhound, you can easily do 30. So meaning that you can spend an hour, you can take pictures of 30 items. Now, you won't have it right away, like you said, but then you can go and source, you can, do other things. But by the end of the day, or within, 1 business day, you have 30 items ready to post. And then you can post them over time. So like you said, because it's really important that we constantly feed eBay. That way we get a higher, we're seen better. So you can decide when to actually have the item post.
That's important too. Yeah, they can be in your drafts, just like, if you had a lister and then, list 2 or 3 every hour all the way through the rest of the day. The thing about the, having this hopper and having these ones done is that time is money. We all know that time is money. And my best listers, and I don't mean mine personally, my person that does listing, is about, call it 6 to 8 an hour, and that's pretty quick. I mean, that's quick. Most people are 4 or 5 an hour. There's nobody doing more than 10 an hour unless it's like some repeatable, simple, easy. It just doesn't exist. And so to be able to put up 30 an hour, most of my people can't put up 30 in a day. I mean, and that's, part-timers working 4 hours, 30 is tough.
And you don't have to manage people.
And that's the best part. You don't have to hire an employee.
That's right.
And so this is a time, a value, a labor, and a money, 4 sides. I always put those four things in there. What is the time it takes you? How much money is it costing you? What is the labor cost, which a lot of you know I've explained, and what is the value for your dollar? And so if you think about being able to list, let's just say you did a couple hours of photos and got them over to Sellhound, and you could put up 60 or 70 items in a day, which is very reasonable, even just a couple hours of working if you had that much inventory. And some people might say, well, I don't have that much inventory. Well, if you had all day to source it all because you weren't listing, you would have that much inventory. And if you could get it all up in a day, which, you know, the biggest problem is, oh, I can buy 10 million pieces of inventory. How do I get it up? Well, if you could get it all up, what would your sales be? How big would your sales go? How would they double? Would they triple? Would they quadruple? Would they 10 times? I mean, where would they go? So that's something to think about. You know, your value for your dollar and your money and your time, it's all a part of that. So, and I'm the biggest believer. I've made a dozen videos on time and money and best uses of it. Anything that takes away my day of work and allows me to do other stuff, I'm going to give it a chance immediately. So that's what I'm most impressed about and excited about for Sellhound.
Yes, me too, actually.
Yeah,
I'm building it for me.
I hate listing more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
I love selling, but I hate listing.
I love sourcing also. I love going to the thrift store, like I said. But the listing is always like, oy, you know.
Yeah,
You get it home. Once I get it home, all I want to do is sleep. I don't want to look at it. So I have other people that have always listed for me, because if it was left up to me, I can physically list 10 an hour. But if you actually let me list, I might get one done every other day. So, but if I had somebody to forget it, to send it and forget it, I'd be on board. And so that's what I'm waiting for. I can't wait for they're in alpha/beta. Once it gets rolled out and we're able to do it, that is the future of Sellhound. Do you have, everybody's going to ask me, I already know it, and I'm not going to hold you to this, but do you have an ETA for this beta testing and into kind of like the next phases of the app?
Yeah, so don't hold me to it. As it's like building a house, it's 3 times as much money and 3 times the time.
Yep.
But yes, we now launched our beta, which is that it posts to eBay. We're hoping that by January, actually, we're going to be able to open it up to a lot more people. But we are encouraging people to sign up on our website, to be early adopters. The one thing that I know that a lot of people are asking about is price and cost for it as well. Right now, the beta is going to be free. But once we develop it, but in exchange, we really want people to give us their advice and how they're using it and what's happening. Again, that's what we want to learn from. We want to create the best tool ever for sellers. And once we do start charging, our model is that it's going to be $2.99 per item for the first marketplace, and then 99 cents for the same item for multiple marketplaces. So, but that will give us enough leeway to also make deals, and we'll be able to be flexible. Again, we have to pay per item. It's not like a regular software that, you just build the software and then you can charge whatever. Every item that you submit to us, we're paying somebody to create the listing for you. So that's why we have to charge per item. I also want to encourage people to sign up on our social media, our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. And
I'll link all those for you guys down below. I have all of them. I follow them. So I'll put them all down there. And you guys will be updating all the new releases and all that stuff on social media, I would assume, as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so you guys will find, again, you'll find the direct link to the website. You'll find the link to the first video if you didn't catch that. And then you'll find their @links to Instagram and Twitter and the Facebook page.
And come look for us at Ecom Chicago. For Alicia, our director of marketing, and Ecom Chicago, the whole team is going to be there. We're all going to be there. In fact, we're a platinum sponsor. So, and we're going to have, like I said, probably a confession booth. So if you think about
the Sellhound sign.
Yes, and for PoshFest, we'll be at PoshFest. Alicia Earl, our director of marketing, will be there at PoshFest.
Yeah, and so I'll be there, and you guys will see me, of course. And if you haven't caught up with Alicia or them, and you want to, just message me on anywhere, and I'll find her and she once I get to know her. Once I get a few drinks in her, I'll introduce you to. So
She'll be happy. She'll be happy to have those drinks with you.
I'm the easy one to find at Poshfest. I don't know how tall she is, but I tower over everyone. So I will. I'll help you guys get in touch with Hound so you can learn more and ask questions. If you are at Poshfest, make sure you bring questions to ask her. Put her in the hot seat, make her answer them. And yeah, so we'll get some video from there too. I promise you guys. I'll get a little clip or a couple minute clip of Alicia and myself. So that's exciting. I can't wait to be there and meet her in Dallas. And I think that covers a lot of the questions that my viewers are going to have, everyone watching this video. If you have any additional questions, as always, the comment section belongs to everyone. I'm going to forward them to Suzanne and her team. She's going to see them. I'm sure she'll check in because curiosity.
We'll respond. Absolutely.
She can't respond in the comments, which I'm sure she will. Just leave your comment with your email and just leave it right there in the comment at the end of it, and then she'll be able to just copy and paste your email if she can respond to it. And I will, if you guys email them or message them to me, I will forward them along to Suzanne as well to get some of the answers that I'm sure are going to come out of it. And then because Poshfest is about a month away, I will try to gather those questions by Poshfest, get the answers, and then on video we can, with Alicia, maybe answer some of them. So we'll do that. So just make sure you get them to us. And I want to, if there's anything else you want to add, Suzanne, to to anything, pricing or features or upcoming or news.
Yeah, I mean, I really would love for people to go to sellhound.com and use the search comparison. Also, remember, it's a great tool for buyers. So if you know anybody who collects things or wants to just buy secondhand, it works for everything, not only fashion. So, Halloween is coming up and you want to get a really cool costume. So you can easily search low to high or high to low for all these marketplaces. So it's a great tool. Again, for collectors who are always trying to source that LP, that is the special print.
Whatever.
So both sides, a lot of my viewers are buyers, and in addition to sellers. So that's a great tip. You guys can find what stuff is selling for, so you know what marketplace to get it cheapest. Trying to save $1, of course, everyone is. Christmas is coming up, fourth quarter. So another great thing to start using it for that. Just make sure, again, use the link below. Go directly to the site. I'm not getting paid for this. There's no affiliate. This is me telling you guys, I've been using the price comparison tool. That's what I've been using over the last few weeks. Kate's been using it like nonstop, looking up stuff to get an idea. I actually had her go through 1,200 items using the price comparison to see if we were priced out of our minds. And it worked. We were out of our minds on quite a few items. So, so we were able to get some good averages. And the other thing, and this is what I saved for the end to kind of point out, on the price comparison, the prices were dead on. So eBay kind of has an internal sourcing tab with a growth tab, and they give you kind of I'll call it a price average on items that you can look at. But what they don't have, they're not pulling it by like titles and searches and keywords. They're doing it just based on like that brand and category. So it's all over the place. I'll give you guys a perfect example. 7 For All Mankind dojo jeans are worth significantly more, double what the regular ones are. So on eBay's internal, it only shows you 7 For All Mankind jeans, period. It doesn't search by that dojo word. But when you go on Sellhound, if you search by the dojo word, it's only going to pull the listings that have the dojo in it. So it's going to be more accurate on that average pricing. So it's way more specific. And it's funny, before I knew Sellhound existed, I said in my head, I was like, why can't eBay have like a keyword search in this thing that I could see the that I want to look at and not just the overall brand? And so bingo, there was Sellhound. So we're using Sellhound and not the growth tab anymore.
Oh wow, that's great.
Because it's way more accurate. I did a few, probably like 5 or 6 comparisons side by side, and for much more specific items, and the Sellhound was closer to the actual hold it on. And I went off of ones that I actually sold, and it was within $1, $2 of pretty much everything that I had looked up.
Good, that's great to hear. Thank you. And yeah, so everybody use it and spread the word. If you have any kind of followers or friends and family, and let people know about it.
Yep.
Help us, because we're a scrappy little startup built by sellers.
Yep.
We're trying to make this work. So all the help that we can get, spreading the word, really will help us.
And hopefully, you know, I'm in hope that, just what we talked about, that the app will work and that we'll be able to do everything that we need to do on it. And anything that's going to help me and help all of my viewers, I'm in the business of helping people. So if something can help them, that is what I need to do. And I know quite a few of you watching have significantly big Facebook groups. This will go out to my 100,000 member Facebook group, but I know quite a few of you have 20, 30, 40,000 members. So if you want to link it, take my video or take the direct link down below. You can me or not, it doesn't matter. Just link the videos and the links and put them in your groups. That'd be awesome. I would really appreciate it, guys. And if you do that, in exchange, I will put you in my Facebook group. So even more motivation to share it.
Well, that's great. And the same here. We have a Facebook group, and we're, like I showed you the news, we want to encourage sellers. We want to promote sellers. We want to promote reselling. So whatever we can do, we're trying to do as well. So thank you.
Awesome. No, thank you.
She's busier than all of us combined. I promise you, as busy as I am, doesn't compare. So thank you so much, first of all, and for your team, for all their help. She has a great team that I've worked with, 2 of them already. So everybody in the comments, definitely leave a thank you for them. And we will have her again. We'll talk to Suzanne again. We'll talk, of course, to Alicia in Dallas. And as things update, I will update you. Follow them on social media for updates. And if there's anything else, you know how to get a hold of me. And I'll make sure Suzanne gets it. So thank you a million times over, Suzanne, for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much also for all the work that you're doing. Thank you.
And we will talk to her soon. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I look forward to the comments and questions. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Done.